so we're working in 12/8. Now 12/8 means we have got, let me get this to stay, we've got 12 quavers in a bar. So if I just draw 12 blobs, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. You're probably used to working with 6/8, but not 12/8. So we've got 12 quavers in a bar. The quavers are grouped into threes, like this. Because we're in compound time. Okay, so we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So you can see there's 4 of those groups. We'll come back to that in a second. Now you would think that the simplest way of counting this would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. But it wouldn't, because it gets really mouthy and it's a bit silly, and actually it's far too fast. Because if I played this at speed, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 1, I actually can't count it that fast. Okay? So normally we would say each group of 3 is something dotted. Now in this case, because it's quavers, each group of 3 is a dotted crotchet. So 1, 2, 3, 4. That makes sense? 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so we're actually counting in 4 time. But what happens with this piece is most of the time we're not dealing with a dotted crotchet or 3 quavers, we're dealing with this rhythm. We're dealing with that. It's the same thing, it's just a little bit more awkward. So we're still dealing with 1, 2, 3, 4, but there's the shortcut way to count this kind of rhythm is to say 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and as long as that keeps coming back, that rhythm is the easiest way of counting it. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. And now actually what happens in this is there's a lot of this happens. So we don't quite have all the notes. 1 and 3 and. It's the same rhythm the whole way through. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 3 and. So all we've got to do to work out this 12/8 rhythm is work out, you can see I've drawn lines down here, we've got to work out where in each bar where these groups of 3 are, so we know where the beats lie, and that's usually the most tricky bit. This is a really difficult one to start 12/8 with, because it's not only 12/8, it's syncopated, and you don't get this rhythm anywhere in it. And to be honest, if you're going to start 12/8 for the first time, you're better off having a nice easy piece with lots and lots of quavers in it, so you can actually see the 12/8. Now this piece doesn't have that anywhere. Not only does it not have that, which is nice and easy, it doesn't have that, which is nice and clear. It rarely has that. Most of the time it has that. So listen carefully to what I'm doing and use your ear to help you work out the rhythm, because ideally you'd learn something with lots of them, and you'd learn something with lots of them, and then you'd learn something with lots of them, and then you'd learn something with lots of them, but we've gone straight to learning something with lots of them, and it's a bit unfair, but there we go. Right, so we'll do it bar by bar, and I'll do a lot of clapping on my legs with the right and the left hand, just to give you an idea of what's going on. So I'll miss out the upbeat and go straight to bar 1. So bar 1 is 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and on the left hand is 1, 2, 3, 4, because, and I'll show you the maths for this in case you're not already aware of how this works. A dotted minim is the same as 2 dotted crochets. Now, in case you don't believe me that, we'll work it out. 2 dotted crochets equals, so that's 2 crochets plus 2 dots, and the 2 dots are 2 quavers. So if we add that up, we get 2 crochets as a minim, 2 quavers is a crochet, and a minim plus a crochet is a dotted minim. Okay, so when you see a dotted minim, it's 1, 2. Right, let's go back again. So our right hand in the first bar is 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and our left hand is 1, 2, 3, 4. Together, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and okay, bar 2. Right hand, so the rest, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and that is, you can sort of see it here, it's 1 and 2, and this bit I made up, and that bit's not actually right, but 1 and 2 and. So that rest is the first part of beat 2. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and, with the left hand, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Next bar, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So I'll just do the right hand on its own for bar 4. 1 and 2, 3 and 4 and. Left hand, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 and 2, 3 and 4 and. Right, bar 5. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Left hand, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Bar 6. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Do it again. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. 1 and 2 and 3. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Bar 7. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Bar 8. 1 and 2, 3, 4. So bar 9, we've got a tie. 1 and 2 and 3 and. These bars are easier if you don't play the ties, and then put the ties back in later. So bar 9 without the tie. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Do that again. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. So the next stage is sort of, don't play the tie, but lift your finger up a little bit so it feels like you're not playing it. 1 and 2 and 3 and. So you sort of just jab at the note a little bit. Then you can feel the count without sounding it. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and I'm going to do it without that. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Next bar. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So I've done that without the ties. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. With the ties. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. everyone. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3, 4. Some of you might feel a little bit happier about changing this to 6/8 just for the purpose of sort of keeping track of where you are and being able to count it, even though it's you get it memorised so that you can play it in 12/8, because it is very difficult if you haven't seen 12/8 before to be able to work out where you are and what you're doing and keep track of all the syncopation and all the counting. So what I'm doing here, I've just split the first half into, I don't know if you can see that actually, into 6/8 and divided the bars in half, and that can make it a little bit easier to cope with. Is that actually in focus? No, hang on. Yes. No, we're in focus, I think. So I've cut it in half, each bar in half, just so it can make it a little bit easier to keeping track of where you are and be able to divide it vertically. So that's a new day.